Have you ever thought that in just a few minutes, a chase can push prey to the edge of despair? African wild dogs do not rely on overwhelming strength. What makes them terrifying is their endurance and perfect coordination. Every stride, every closing maneuver tightens the noose until the prey is exhausted. Right now, you will witness the horrifying hunts of African wild dogs and their prey.
The stomachs.
Let's watch now. African wild dog versus nyala antelope. Across the plains of southern Africa, the setting sun marks the beginning of the hunt by one of nature's most efficient predators.
Runaway. The devoted Timana.
African wild dogs do not depend on individual strength, but operate as a single unified entity.
Will never survive.
Their coordination is not just instinct, but precise calculation of space and timing.
With great leaders like Timana and Malala,
A herd of antelope enters their sights. The chase erupts at extreme speed, all unnecessary movement eliminated to make way for velocity. When pursuing prey, wild dogs can maintain speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour over long distances. By attacking simultaneously from multiple directions, they quickly neutralize the prey's ability to resist. The ferocity of each bite is not only to satisfy hunger, but to ensure the survival of the entire pack until tomorrow.
until tomorrow.
African wild dog versus impala lion. The black-spotted warriors begin a new day by surveying the riverside terrain, where every small movement is carefully noted.
Malau has no choice.
For wild dogs, the pressure to find food is constant. The hunt begins when an impala enters their range. The prey performs dramatic high leaps in an attempt to escape the jaws of its pursuers. But luck does not intervene.
The last lucky break. Having escaped the fury of
The speed of wild dogs is a collective tactical weapon. They distribute their forces to maintain relentless pressure, causing prey that may be faster to still be defeated by endurance. But the presence of a lion completely changes the order.
It's a dangerous place for an expert.
The conflict is not limited to food. The lion actively pursues to exert territorial pressure on the wild dog pack. This is direct competition between apex predators to maintain control of the area. African wild dog versus warthog. On the savanna, silence does not mean safety. A lone hyena boldly steals a portion of the kill right before the eyes of the wild dog pack. At the den, vulnerable pups are waiting. The pack is forced to begin a new hunt to compensate for the lost food.
The future of the pack will be lost.
The wild dogs coordinate seamlessly, pursuing a warthog with remarkable speed and stamina. Their encircling strategy gradually closes the distance. When the prey is brought down, the pack consumes the food at extreme speed. This behavior minimizes the risk of kleptoparasitism by larger scavengers. But how do their pups get fed?
They will not be able to regurgitate. Where are you, Malau?
After feeding adult wild dogs return to the den and regurgitate food for the pups and the individuals that stayed behind to guard.
The hunters deliver a life-saving.
This mechanism ensures nutrients are evenly distributed, maintaining stability and strength throughout the entire pack structure.
There is no rest for
The pups compete for food under the watchful eye of their mother. Each successful meal is a step closer to maturity in an ecosystem with no room for weakness. Along a road cutting through dense shrubland, a life-or-death confrontation unfolds between a pack of African wild dogs and a lone warthog. Wild dogs are relentless hunters, but this target is not easily subdued. With tusks made of keratin harder than even a lion's bones, this is the warthog's final lifeline. Pack coordination often dominates, but the strength and ferocity of prey at the edge of survival can also change the outcome. The hunters attempt to encircle and wear down their opponent. However, the warthog's agility allows it to protect vital areas, preventing the dogs from delivering a decisive bite. Its lower tusks can be sharpened to razor-like edges through friction, with the upper tusks capable of inflicting deep, fatal wounds. As the pack's persistence begins to fade against this solid defense, the warthog seizes the moment to retreat safely. African wild dog versus elephant. At scarce waterholes during the dry season, competition among large mammals is constant.
Even the waterhole is wilting.
When a herd of elephants occupies the site, body size becomes the deciding factor for access to resources.
Pale pack has to drink.
The appearance of an African wild dog pack triggers the elephant's defensive instincts.
Every decision counts.
Adult elephants move forward, forming a living wall ready for a potential confrontation. Against a large elephant herd, wild dogs are not a serious concern, and the elephants remain calm even with predators nearby.
Confidence.
When elephant calves are present, the aggression level of adult elephants increases significantly. Wild dogs are highly social predators using dispersal tactics to reduce an opponent's focus. However, against a massively heavier adversary, speed serves only to maintain a safe distance rather than initiate an attack. Forward charges and stomping behaviors are intended to drive intruders away, not to launch an actual attack.
Too risky. The pups are not ready.
Perhaps the pressure from the elephant herd is simply too great for the dogs to risk engagement. African wild dog versus hyena. In the savanna ecosystem, competition between African wild dogs and spotted hyenas is a never-ending story. A pack of African wild dogs advances, targeting the carcass of a large elephant, where their longtime rivals are already waiting. Spotted hyenas, with their advantage in size and overwhelming bite force, attempt to secure this valuable protein source.
Test their resolve.
However, the wild dogs do not retreat. they deploy their signature encirclement strategy on individual targets.
Whatever it takes.
A chaotic clash erupts as coordinated pack tactics collide with brute individual strength. They use agility to deliver lightning-fast bites to vulnerable areas behind the hyenas. The hyenas respond by lowering their center of gravity and spinning to protect softer body parts from the pack's speed, but the numbers are simply too great to handle. Once the hamstrings are severed or leg muscles are severely damaged, the opponent loses balance and can no longer escape. Bites to these areas easily cause deep injuries, rapid blood loss, and exhaustion without requiring excessive bite force. The hyena clan quickly abandons the carcass and moves on to a new pursuit, leaving the battlefield shrouded in dust and survival. African wild dog versus impala. A lone warrior launches an attack at the impala's lower abdomen. As an experienced hunter, it needs no additional pack members for this hunt. However, a sudden adrenaline surge allows the impala to temporarily overcome shock and remain standing. To confront the enemy, the antelope uses its long horns, an effective defensive tool in direct confrontations. Yet the hunting success of wild dogs reaches its highest level among mammals due to their pack structure. In a blink of an eye, the entire pack arrives, sealing the encirclement. African wild dogs are the most efficient land predators. While lions have a hunting success rate of only about 17 to 30%, wild dogs achieve 60 to 85%. Constant pressure leads to exhaustion and severe blood loss, causing the antelope to collapse rapidly. This is proof of the effectiveness of cooperative hunting strategies, allowing them to take down prey far larger than themselves. African wild dog versus waterbuck. On open plains, survival is not just about strength, but a battle of endurance. African wild dogs begin their hunt silently closing in on the target. The waterbuck makes leaps of up to 3 meters, but its speed cannot match the pack. Realizing it cannot shake them on land, the antelope decides to charge into a nearby body of water. However, the surface is far from calm. Massive hippos emerge, creating a dangerous barrier. But fortunately, it escapes just in time before becoming an appetizer for the hippos. The antelope must remain near the water to prevent the dogs from approaching, while also staying alert to the giants below. The wild dog pack gathers along the shore, patiently waiting for an opening. A few individuals attempt attacks from the water's edge, but are met with fierce resistance from the antelope's sharp horns. The confrontation reaches a stalemate. When survival instincts meet careful calculation, the line between predator and prey becomes thinner than ever. What you have just seen explains why African wild dogs are ranked among the most fearsome hunters of the savanna. Each hunt is not merely a chase, but a prolonged battle of endurance strategy and survival will. This brutality reminds us that in nature, no one is guaranteed safety. Every step, every decision can determine the fate of both predator and prey. If you found these moments tense and thought-provoking, please like, leave a comment sharing your impressions, and subscribe too. Continue following the most authentic wildlife stories. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. See you again on the next journey into the natural world.